Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Grace Kinyanjui. I'm the university librarian. And with me this morning is a team of librarians who are on the forefront on training our users to be able to access the e-resources and utilize them effectively, and to be able to carry out their research and academic activities effectively and efficiently using the library resources. So we have been having a series of trainings on Fridays from 10 to 11 or 11:30. And we started off with the training users on how to access the e-resources using the off-campus access software, that is RemoteX. And then after that, we started now training on research tools. Last week, we had a session training on use of a research tool that will help researchers, postgraduate students, and even lecturers, or if they want to publish, how to cite or to create citations and references for their publications. So today is also a continuation of that. Today we have Millicent August, who will be taking us through today's session. But with us in the room, we have Mr. Kenneth Rotich, who is the person in charge of Reader Services Division. And as you know, the user's needs actually fall in that division. Mr. Kenneth Rotich is based in the main library, Njoro. Then we have Millicent Ongus, who is our facilitator today, our presenter. And Millicent is based in Utafiti building in the research library. So we also have Mr. Andrew Njuguna. We have Andrew Njuguna, who is based in our main library resource center. We also have Edwin Kimaru with us, who is also based in the main campus library e-resources center. We also, I think, have Felicitas Ratanya. I'm not sure that she's already in the room.
I am.
Yeah, thank you, Felicitas. We have Felicitas, who is in charge of our Nairobi campus library. And she's also one of the trainers, but she will be taking us through in another session, most likely next week. So I want to invite you to today's session. You feel welcome. In case you have any questions, there is a question and answer session. So kindly just note down your questions. You can put them in the chat. Mr. Kenneth, I can't see the question and answer icon. So they can just write their questions in the chat.
Yeah, they can use the chat as we sort out the question and answer.
There should be one for question and answer.
Yeah.
So that members, instead of interrupting the presenter, unless it's really critical that you interrupt, you can just note down your questions. After the presentation, we shall now be able to answer the questions that you shall have raised. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome Millicent Ongus, one of our librarians, and she's going to take us through this morning session. Welcome, Millicent.
Thank you, Madam Librarian. Good morning, participants.
Morning.
Yeah, we are going to look at one of our referencing tools. Last week, we were looking at Zotero. This week, we are going to look at Mendeley. And as we noted last time, we said the referencing tools are mainly used by researchers to get their references to the work that they are working on. So Mendeley, as one of the referencing tools, which is actually provided by Elsevier, is a program and academic social network software. In that, you are able to make your references as well as network with your students or researchers in the same field. You can get it online via the web application, or you can download it and have it on your desktop and use it offline. So we'll have a look at the overview of Mendeley. As I've already said, it helps you to collect your information resources to one place, which is a library. You can manage your library, read, share, annotate, cite, and use research and article papers. Also, you are able to generate bibliographies. Say you download a paper and you don't have the bibliographies, there's a place that allows you to add the author's name and make any changes you have. Again, references can be collected in a personalized online library, which is kept normally in the cloud and can be synchronized with your desktop or with your phone if you're using a smartphone. Also, you can have a plugin. We have two types of plugins. We have one for MS Word, which allows you to reference your work as you're working on it. And we have one for the like for Chrome, for your browser. So when when you're searching for something online, you are then able to add it onto your library from your browser. So that's what we call the plugin for the browser, and then done for the Word is called plugin for the Word. As you're downloading your Mendeley, you download the two so that you're able to use them as you do your work. So some of the features of Mendeley are you're able to join Mendeley Academic Collaboration Network. This is done by creating an account, and then you start interacting with people of like minds as far as research is concerned. You can also import your reference library from other references. Say you're using EndNote, Zotero, or RefWork. You're able to import them into your Mendeley and have one library. You're also able to join one of thousands of public groups, or you can create your own. You'll see how you are able to do that. Again, you are able to create a private group. A private group is one which is only accessible to people that you allow in, whereas the public one, anybody can join. But maybe you're having some students that you're supervising, or students who are doing research together. They're able to create a private group, invite one another, and then share their resources or share their findings. You're also able to discover readership statistics about your paper. And this one is normally done from Scopus, where you can you can just enter your name, and then you'll be able to see what you have published online and how it is being used by others. You can also showcase your publication history, and this is done by adding your personal publications to your Mendeley profile using the Mendeley desktop. So you have to go to the profile page, and then you create it on the desktop. You can also choose different citations to use. Say you're publishing a paper and you need to use APA or MLA, you're able to choose the citation that you need and use it. You can also drag and drop PDFs automatically. Let's say, for example, you have them on your desktop and you need them in your library for Mendeley. You just minimize the window, drag them and drop them into your your library. So the features are many. We will not be able to look at all of them, but what I want us to note is that you can have Mendeley on your Windows. You can have it on any smartphone that you have. And if you're using any of the browsers, the common ones like Firefox and Chrome, you're also able to access them. And then, of course, as I already said, all your references and all the work that you've downloaded is kept for you in the cloud. So you can access it from anywhere, regardless of whether you're using the same computer or a different computer. Just log in and you're able to access the data that you had downloaded before. So how do you use Mendeley? It can be used on your desktop. You can also use it on the web, that is online. You can use it on the phone. If you have a tablet, you can also use it. And you can use it as a Word plugin once you're working on your Word. So when we talk about the web version is great for storage, organizing, and annotating full text PDFs within your personal library. While the desktop one is an essential one for you to have it in your computer to help you when you're doing bibliographical data or citing and writing your work. For those ones who use the smartphones, there's an app in Google Play. If you download it, you're able to access the PDFs that you've saved in your library from your computer. And then we have the Word plugin, which allows you to seamlessly cite as you write using citation styles of your choice. So how do you get started? If you've never downloaded Mendeley and you want to use it, you go to your browser, you click www.mendeley.com, and then a page will open. You'll see this later on, and then you create an account. So whenever you create an account with Mendeley, and you're using Elsevier services or Sales Direct services or Scopus, which now gives you your readership, you're able to use the same account as in the same username and the same password to access your Elsevier account and to access your Science Direct account. Then once you've downloaded Mendeley on your desktop, first of all, you'll be asked to register. Why do we register? We register so that we indicate that we have agreed to their terms and conditions. And once you register now, you're able to use their services. Before you register, you may not be able to access. So once you register, every time when you come to use your Mendeley, you'll be asked to indicate your account and a password, and then you sign in. So that is a prerequisite. So when we are online, this is now the window. Once you go to www.mendeley.org or .com, this is the page that will open. So in this page, as you can see, you have the options of clicking to create an account. You can also click to sign in, or you can click to download Mendeley to your desktop. So in case you've never downloaded Mendeley, you start by first of all clicking where the mouse is, download Mendeley desktop for Windows. In case you're already a registered user, you just come to sign in where the cursor is, or create account. So that's what you are able to do. That is actually the first page that you will be taken to once you want to download it. So you can sign in, you can create an account, and then you can download. So when you open the desktop after you've downloaded, remember I said you'll have to register. So in your first page that you get this once you click on Mendeley on your desktop, where the cursor is, you click on register. If you are not yet registered, then you give an email and a password. So if you give your email and password, every time you come in, you'll just be signing in from this point or from this point. So you'll be able to sign in once you registered, as I already said. Now, how do you register? When you have created this account, you can now sign in from your desktop. And as I said, Elsevier, Science Direct, and Scopus. So your password should be a password that you're able to remember and a password that is safe. Why should your password be safe? Because we advocate for ethical use of information resources. So if somebody uses your password and misuses or maybe goes to a website and downloads something which maybe they use badly, and they're using your account, you remain accountable. So it is good to create a safe password, just in case somebody decides to use your account. They should be able to sign in with their own password and username. And then after you created the password, then you'll be taken to the next page, which will ask you now to create the account, as we've already seen. And by doing this, as we said, you're just agreeing to their privacy policy and terms and conditions. There's nothing much to it. Most people fear to create the account. When it reaches that, they say, it asked me to create an account, so I didn't know why, so I stopped. Just create it to indicate that you're agreeing with their privacy policy, their terms, and their conditions. So points to note is that Mendeley Desktop is the downloaded part of the software installed into your computer. The Mendeley Web is the Mendeley website where you can access the web version of your library. You can edit it, you can download papers, you can create groups, and so on. So it means if you are on Mendeley Desktop, you are not able to create groups. You have to go online to create a group or to join a group. If you want to search for papers online, again,
Joseph,
yes?
What class?
Excuse me. Can you
Umeingia class? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll continue.
Bukuja nikwambie ni maji gani? Niambie usilete ya kunywa. Kuja. Chukua ndoo.
Kindly participants.
Sorry for that.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, let me continue.
I had to mute everybody.
Okay.
Just continue now.
Okay. So I'm saying when you want to create a group, you want to download a paper, or you want to access something online, you must use the Mendeley web. But if you're just somewhere in your house, you're doing your research, you use the Mendeley desktop because you don't need to be online. So there's also the web importer, which I said is an extension that comes with Mendeley. You add it to your browser. So every time that you are downloading something, you're able to get it direct and put it in your library. You'll see how to do that. And of course, Citation Plugin, as we said, it also allows you to format your work as you're working on it from Mendeley. So for Android, those ones who are using smartphones, if you go to Google app and you download Mendeley app, what will happen is that it will ask you to synchronize with other accounts. So once you do this for the first time, it will ask you to synchronize. And this will take quite some time if you've already downloaded something from your other applications or your other devices. So in case you have not downloaded anything, it will be fast because you're just creating and you can start downloading after you've registered. So in case you're using your smartphone, please remember to synchronize. You see how or where you're supposed to synchronize so that you transfer all your other data to your application. Okay. So this is what I've said about application. So again, note that Mendeley works fine offline as a paper organizer and citation generator. But for collaboration, if you don't want to create groups, you don't want to join a group, those ones are optional. It's not a must, so you can always ignore them. But if you want to get any missing metadata for your research paper, you have to go online. Otherwise, if you're offline, it will not work. So how do we download our plugins? Remember we said we have two. We have the web importer, we have the citation plugin. So for the web importer, when you go to your page after you've downloaded Mendeley and you've opened it, you are able to go to a place under tools. Here we'll see how you do it, and then you add Mendeley to your browser. And every time that you are online, you want to download something, there's an icon that appears on the right-hand side of your window up. So you click on it, it will ask you whether you want to add it to your library, you just add. For the one plugin again, you go to tools, and then you'll be able to add it to your download. So you'll be able to use Word. As you're using the Word, you can use your references from Mendeley and Cite. So as I said, if you're using the web plugin, if you can see my cursor, if this was your window, there will be a small icon with an M that indicates Mendeley. That is now the Mendeley web plugin. So if I'm searching anything in Google, say Google Scholar, whatever I'm using, I'm able to get the document. If I find the document that I need is in PDF, I just come here, I click on this icon. It will ask me whether I want to add to my library. I say yes. If I have folders, I indicate which folder, and then it saves it direct. So you don't have to save to your desktop. You just save it direct to your library. Now, Mendeley interface, how it looks. After you've logged into your, you've already signed in, you've registered, and now you are using Mendeley. The first page that you'll be taken to is normally the fields. So where we will be at the first point in the feed. So after the feed, this is now where you can add anything that you need to add. Let's say if you want to make any changes, you make them from this point, and then you move on to the next one, which is the library. So this is how our Mendeley library looks. Basically, at the center, you'll see the documents that you have downloaded. So this is like your library. At the furthest end, you're able to see documents, which is this. And then folders. You can create folders if you're interested in different, maybe subjects. You can search your library. You can make your changes for your metadata. If you want to make any changes, you can edit from this end. And then Down here, you'll be able to see the authors that are in your library. So they're arranged alphabetically A to Z. If you want to read from an author, you just double click on that particular author and you'll be able to see their papers. So basically that is how the page of the Mendeley looks. That's now the library. That's where you work from most of the time. So as I said, at the farthest end, you will find the other screen is overlapping. At the farthest end, you'll get documents. So here is where you add your files. At number 1, you add your files. At number 2, you create folders and organize them the way you want them to be. At number 3, this is where you are saying, if you are using a smartphone, you synchronize your data from the desktop, maybe the Mendeley web, to your whichever device you're using, say your smartphone and so on. If you click on sync, it will be able to get all the other data that you have from anywhere, and anytime that you sign into your Mendeley with any other device, it will sync. It will add all the data that you're using. And then at number 4, here, you're supposed to now search. Your library could be having so many documents, maybe 100, 200 documents in it, and you're looking for a specific, maybe you read a document, you're talking about education and or girl child or something, and you don't know where to get it. You just come to search. If you enter the term that you want to search under search, every document that has the term that you're looking for will appear, and so you'll be able to read just what you want to look for. If let's say the next time you're doing something on environmental, maybe something to do with environment, just come and type here under search environment, then whatever you're searching will appear, and you just go to the specific documents that have whatever you're looking for. And then we also have what we call Mendeley Discovery. So Mendeley Discovery simply shows you any other item that is related to what you are looking at, and maybe you're not aware of it. So that one will always appear, and it will show you, maybe you can also be interested in this, that, and the other one. So if you're not interested in any, you just ignore. And then, of course, we have my library, which appears where the cursor is at the moment. If you go to my library, then now you're able to see all documents. If you recently added a document, it will show you under recently added. If you removed, it will also show you you removed this document. If there's anything you want, like who are you following and so on, do you have any publications that you added, you can always come to your library and it will show you. So that one is normally under my library. And then you remember we said Mendeley is collaborative and it's like a social network, but academic. So under groups, on if this was your page, somewhere down here where the cursor is, you'll see the groups. So here, you're able to either create a group. Let's say I want to do a research with 5 or 6 people. You create a group and then you share the data that we collect. Or I want to join a group that is already existing and I feel I'm interested. I'll come and click under groups and join the group. If I want to check which groups are available, I'll also be able to check here under library groups, under Mendeley groups. Which groups are already existing in Mendeley? Who are there? Can I join? And so on and so forth. That's what you do under groups. That's the social network aspect of it. And then, of course, we have the main panel. That's where you'll be able to see the authors, the titles, the years of the publications, and so on and so on. When did you add the document? All that data will be seen. In case you are doing your research and you want to indicate that the document was accessed on this date, Mendeley allows you to do that because it shows you the date that you added that particular document to your library. And then, of course, the rest are just details that you'll get about, like on your right-hand side, where we have 9, you're able to see the metadata of the document that you've highlighted. Say you wanted to read a book, you highlight it, or you click on it, it will show you the data, who is the author. And from this point, if you want to make any addition, let's say something to help you track the document later on, you come to tags. Under tags, you're able to add maybe something that you want to recall about the paper. So anytime you type that, it will check the tags and it will avail whatever you are looking for. And then, of course, you can filter whatever you want. By filtering, it means you can delete, you can add, you can merge, and so on and so forth. So basically, this is how the page, your library page of Mendeley looks like. And those are the many things that you're able to do in your Mendeley page. So now, assuming you've downloaded Mendeley, and now you want to download the citation, word citation plugin. If you did not download it from the beginning, you come to your library. There's a place for tools, just at the uppermost bar. If you click on tools, there are several things you can do. For example, you can invite colleagues, you can install the web reporter, or you can uninstall MS Word if you already have it. Or if you're not using MS Word, you can also choose the different words that you're using and still be able to add the plugin. So those ones you do from the tools. So you just open the tools and you'll be able to finish whatever you did not do. If you want to add something, you add it from there. If you want to check for duplicates, as far as your collection is concerned, you click on check duplicates and all the documents that are duplicated will appear. So you are able to delete so that your library remains clean. Then now we have what we call citing on the go. Citing on the go is the way you cite your document as you're working on Word and you're using your Mendeley library. You get the bibliography from your library and you add it to your document. Those ones who are there in the last training, we saw how you are able to do it in Zotero. So Mendeley also allows you to do the same. So as you're working on your Word, you're able to insert the citation that you're actually interested in. So that's what we call citing on the go. And to do that, normally for Mendeley, you go to references, click insert citation, and then it will take you to Mendeley library. Select whatever document you're interested in, and then insert the bibliography or insert it in your document. So we'll see how to do that again as we do it practically. So there are two ways of citing. First of all, as I said, as you're working on your Word document, position the cursor where you want to insert your first citation. That is, if you're working on the document for the first time. Where do you want to put your citation? Put the cursor there, and then press Insert Citation button from the toolbar, as I showed you earlier. And then the Mendeley Citation Editor will pop up, allowing you to search for Mendeley library, and then enter a search term and search the desired reference from the list. Then you press OK to insert it in your document. That is one way of adding citations. Secondly, you can go to Mendeley button, open Mendeley desktop if you're working offline. It allows you to browse the specific reference you require. And then once you find it, you press the Cite button. It temporarily appears, and then you'll be able to add your citation, just the way I've shown you that as we do it practically. So there are different citation styles. For Egerton, I think we use APA. Others use MLA, or maybe you're publishing a paper and they have told you to cite using a different citation. Normally what you do, under Mendeley again, we have different citations. You go and click on the citation that you want, and as long as you'll be working on the same document, the citation that you chose will remain. So every time you're citing, it will just use the same citation that you used. And in case you're doing a document with a different maybe publisher, and you've decided to publish with a different publisher who is asking for a different style, again, you're able to change the citation that you are using to the desired citation that you want. That one is also a provision that is available for you when you're using Mendeley. Then, of course, after you've cited, assuming you've not created a bibliography or references, you go to the end of your document, click on where you want the references to be. Then you click on a button that is available for you from Word to insert bibliography. It will insert the bibliography by bringing all the documents that you've cited in your work and updating your bibliography as you work. That one is just done the first time. If you are creating a document for the first time, then you insert the bibliography. If you have already started working on the document, all you need to do is update your bibliography. So at the end of your work, just update. If you update, all the other changes that you made will be captured. So basically, that is what we have for you as far as Mendeley is concerned. It is interactive. You are able to do so many things, but there are so many that we cannot do all of them practically at once. But the main one is just knowing how you can use it for your references and cite. But of course, as we said, you can create a group, you can join a group. You can also see how your work is being. You can go to Scopus. There's a place for Scopus. It will show you how your work is being used and so on and so forth. So that is about Mendeley, and that's the presentation for today. Thank you for listening, and now we are free to engage. As we are asking them, we'll give you time to move to a place where we are able to check how we do it practically, because this computer cannot do that. So we'll give you just a minute.
Thank you for that presentation, Millicent. It was really, really wonderful. I just want to request the participants. There are those participants complaining that they can't hear the presenter. I think, okay, from where I am myself, I'm able to hear her very, very clearly. So the problem could be with your accessory. Just check your microphone and try to see where you can increase volume from your side. Thank you.
Question? Question?
Okay, yeah. Proceed with your question.
Have my dissertation chapter, which I want to publish. The citations were entered manually. Now, can I use Mendeley when I make an amendment, because I have to reduce the document into a shorter version, definitely lose another citation. Will Mendeley be able to help me reorganize the citation?
Thank you, Mr. Rotich.
Just a minute.
Mr. Rotich. Okay, Millicent. Maybe Rotich is not able to hear me. Millicent, are you able to hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Are you through with the presentation, or there's something you want to demonstrate first before you start answering questions?
You want to demonstrate?
First, before the questions, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay.
So participants, just hold on to your questions. And I was suggesting, Mr. Rotich, as Millicent is preparing. Mr. Rotich, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Sorry, we have switched.
Okay. Now, in order to spend less time in answering, in question and answering session, it is better for you to just pick the questions from the chat, because I think some of these questions have already been asked in the chat. And then you just read them, and then the presenter will answer, or any other of the trainers. Because if we allow participants to all participate, it might take much longer. So I thought you pick up the questions from the chat first, and ask all those questions, and then let us hear the answers. After that, if the participants feel there is a particular question that has not been answered, that is now when we give the participants an opportunity to raise the questions. Would that be better?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. So that we spend less time. First and foremost, you pick up the questions from the chat history, answer all of them. Then if there's still 1 or 2 or 3 questions from the participants which has not already been answered, then they can be given the opportunity to ask those questions, and then they'll be given answers. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, so I'll start by showing you, in case you've not downloaded Mendeley. As I said earlier, you just come to your browser type www. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, www.mendeley.com. So this is the page that will open. And we said earlier, you are able now to create your account from here. So for this particular computer, Mendeley is already installed. But if you are to create your account, you will click on create a free account, which will ask you to give your email and before you are able to continue. So because me have already signed in, I might not be able to go there, but basically that is the procedure. So you'll just be prompted from one step to the next until finally you are able to come to download. And once you've downloaded, this is now where we have our library. So assuming everything else has been done, I can't do it afresh because of my details. So assuming you've downloaded Mendeley, you'll have it on your desktop. You'll be asked to register, as we said, give a username, your email and your password, and then sign in. So once you've signed in now, you'll be taken to a page like this one. So once you're here, this is now your library. This is actually the library that you're talking about. So once you're here now, you can see you have a place where you can add. You see where we are having add. From here, you are able to add any folder. It gives you the options, add files, add folder, or watch folder. Watch folder means if you add anything to that folder, it will be reminding you that you've actually added something to this particular folder. So if you're doing a research and you want to keep checking what you've added into your folder, you click on watch folder. So if you watch that folder, it will keep allowing you to see what you've added. And then sometimes you are forced to add entry manually. So where you enter, you download a document, maybe it's not in PDF, and it's having some details that you do not have, or maybe you're using a document for your work, like a book, and it's not available online. Then you click on, again, where we said, file, at the farthest end, add entry manually, and then you'll indicate, is it a book, is it a journal? If it's a book, you indicate it's a book. If it's a book section, you indicate who are the authors. Let's say the author is Jane, you type in Jane. Which year was it published? Again, you indicate the year that it was published, maybe 1998. Abstract, now this one is where you are doing it manually. So you'll enter an abstract, and any tags that you want, maybe to remember the document with. Maybe it's about education, you type education. All those things that you're adding will finally appear at the right-hand side. And then anything else that you want to add, and then you say save. If it is something that you already had in your document and you're making changes, then you say reset. If you don't want to include the changes you've indicated, just click cancel. So basically, that is what the add drop-down menu helps you to do. Then we also have folders. Remember I said you could be doing some research, maybe one is on biology, geography, whatever. So you come to create folder. So if you say create folder, you give it a title. You say geography. If it is the subject you want to download on, you type geography. That's now the folder will be created. If you want to make any, so I already have my folder there, geography. Then if I want to make any additions to that, now the folder is empty. So you bring any document that you want to have there by going back to your library or editing the settings. You can then do whatever you do, or you add to it. Anytime you're downloading online, you add, it will ask you where do you want to add, you indicate, you want to add it to your folder, it goes there. Create another folder and so on and so forth. If you want to create a group again, you click on create group. Say you are doing a research on environment. So you say environment, whatever, enthusiasts or something. You describe the group for research or something. Do you want it to be public, invite only, or private? So public means anybody from anywhere in Mendeley is able to share in, chip in whatever they have, ask questions, and so on. If you say invites only, it means it's only for people that you'll invite to that group. So the people that you invite can also be able to invite others. So it means it's not open to everybody, only the people who have been invited. And then we have private. Private is one that maybe you are just doing it with your students or something, and you're having close discussion and you're sharing specific files that maybe you're using for your research. So once you indicate whatever you want, if it is public, you click on it, private, you click on it, or whatever it is, and then you click on create group. So if you say create group, it is going to be added to your groups. So anytime you want to see what is available, what your group members are discussing and so on, you want to add something, you go to your group, click on it, and you'll be able to add whatever you want to add. Again, when you come to all documents will show you the documents that you have added to your library. So once you are here now, you can check, what did I add recently? What did I read recently? So if I added something recently, I click on it, it should be able to show me. If there's nothing, it won't show. If I read something recently, it will show me. If there is nothing, it won't show. But this is where you have your documents. So if I'm working on a document, let's say from Word, and I want to make my references, I'll come to my library, select whatever I want, and then use it. Then we also have related. Related, this is where now we have like Google suggesting for you. Whatever you are reading, we also have something that's related to it. So if I had clicked, let's say on this, and I want to check, is there anything that is related to it? It will check and tell me, no, there's nothing related to the document that I'm reading online. But if there was, it would show me. And if I'm interested, I click on it and I add it to my library. If I'm using a smartphone or something else, other than my current desktop, or I want to add whatever I'm using online into my library, you use this sync. Sync will get all the documents that you have and then bring them together to your library. So anytime that you're using Mendeley, you're able to synchronize with any other that is on your desktop, maybe in another folder in your computer, and so on. And if you have anything that you want Mendeley to assist you, normally they have online help. You can search your question, and then the family or the Mendeley family will be able to answer you. Now, up here we have file, which basically is what we've been talking about, where you can watch your files and so on. And then we have edit. So edit is here now. If you want to delete a group, create a group, rename a group, and so on and so forth, you come to edit. Under view, here now we have citation styles. If you click on view, you see citation styles. If you're working on a document and you want to use maybe APA, you click on APA. So it means all the documents you'll be working on, it's assumed that even the arrangement that will be done when you're making references will use APA as a citation style. And then, of course, we have tools, as we said earlier. With tools, you are able to invite colleagues. If there are people that you want to invite, for this one, you have to be online, where now you have to go, sign in, and then check whoever is available under Mendeley that you know or you're interested in doing a research with, and then you'll be able to invite them. So that is one of the ways that you use the tools. And of course, as we said, you can also use it as to create your add-ons. Remember we said we have add-ons like Zotero. I mean, anything that you want to add on to your computer will appear. And let's say, for example, I want to add Mendeley Web Importer. I'll again go to check whatever is there for me and then be able to add it. Then, and the options are many. The things that you can do under tools are many. And of course, as we said, you're able to ask for help in case you need to. So again, basically that is what we do with Mendeley. So if I'm doing something with Word, assuming I'm working on my document. So if I want to cite from my library, this is my document. I'm just assuming I'm typing. I've reached somewhere where I feel I want to add my citation. I'll space, you can space once, and then come to references. Under references now, you can see insert citation. So if I click on insert citation, it will take me now to my library. Go to Mendeley. So once I'm here, I'll go to all documents. If I want to search maybe this document, thermal studies and so on, I'll click on it. And then come back to my Word and then insert citation. So it will come there at wherever I've inserted it. I've just used one name. Of course, when you're citing, you'll go for the right one. Then you say which one do you want to use. So far we are at APA, and then once I've typed again, I want to add something else. I'll continue, and then finally, when I reach the end of my work, I'll create a bibliography. So I'll say insert bibliography. So if I say insert bibliography, the document that had it's not working well. So if you click, go to insert citation, go to bibliography, it will show you whichever type of citation is available for APA. So if you click on any of them, it will bring the citations that you've done. Like now this one we used Rotich. So it brings for me Rotich. If I had done another person again, it will just bring them all down here and arrange them. So every time that I'm using my Mendeley, I'll just come and insert bibliography, and then it will be able to show me. So if this was my document, I'll use it. So this is how you have it now. If for Mendeley, you come to references, insert citation, it will take you to your library, and then click whatever you want. If this is a document that you wanted to search, go back to your document, you'll have it there. I don't know, it's not coming automatically. Some of these things you'll have to try. And then from there, you'll have it in your bibliography, and your bibliography will be arranged alphabetically. So basically, that's how you'd use it. If you are using it for your document, that's where you get your references. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. So insert bibliography, and then it will appear. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope it is clear.
Yeah, very clear.
Okay. So I think basically that's what we wanted to show you, how you can do physically. The rest, as I said, like adding groups and so on, those ones you can try them later on at your own pace and discover more. There's so much that you can do with Mendeley that we cannot do it. We cannot show everything at once. So I think basically that's what I wanted you to see, how you can use your Word and use the cite as you go by inserting citation, bibliography, choosing your whichever you are referencing style you want to use, and then where your Mendeley library is, and so on and so forth. So I hope members are able to follow that. Thank you. So I think now we are free to ask questions.
Thank you, Millicent, for that wonderful demonstration. It was very clear, actually, and thank you very much. It actually shows that you prepared well. We really appreciate. So now I hand over the program to Rotich to lead us in the question and answer session. Mr. Rotich.
Thank you, Labella. Now from the chat, I'm seeing a number of questions. Maybe we'll go one by one. And at the end of it, if there'll be any additional questions, participants can raise. So from the chat, I'm seeing a question where one is asking, will training on Zotero be repeated? Maybe after next week, we'll be having a training on academic writing. I think from there we can see the participants' needs. If there's a need for to repeat a given training that we did, then I think we can do that after next week. That's subject to discussion. And then the other one is morning. When will the use of Zotero be repeated? That's one I have said. Okay. Trying to look at the other questions. What happens when I already have my paper and I want to use any of the referencing tools? Will I be able to upload the document on the tool? And what will I do? As a question, maybe Millicent, can you respond to that question or any of our
Well, let me just say, for one, remember for you to use the referencing tool, the library should have the documents that you used for your paper. So if the library does not have the documents that you use, first of all, you have to upload them to your library. Once you have them in your library, then you can just go to the same document and then be able to update your bibliography. But if your library does not have the documents that you used, then it's not able, because it gets the details from your library, unless somebody has anything else to say.
Thank you, Mason. Also, what I can add is to use citation tools, it's always good to start from when you are starting to write your paper. Because I think this the person is asking question is, if you are through with the writing your paper, is it possible to use the citation tools? I think it will pose a challenge. The best practice is, as you start writing your paper, you start using the referencing tools from the whiteboard. That one will find the tools very, very helpful.
Yeah, Rotich, to add on that, Yes. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Felicitas.
Hello, Rotich. To add on that, maybe to add on what you're saying, okay, assuming the user is already through with the references and even the citations, but did it manually. So maybe when the user wants to use the tool again, the user again will be required to upload all the documents in the Mendeley or rather in the library, and then again use the same procedure in citing. So it will be kind of double work, but there's always a way out, because at the end of the day, the tool should generate the references for you and in an orderly manner than we do it manually. I think that's what I can add.
Thank you, Felicitas.
Yeah.
The other question that I'm seeing.
I had seen Mr. Rotich.
Yes.
I had seen Angela missing some references. It was a question in the chat. And this is an issue of synchronizing. Mendeley does not automatically synchronize. You need to, after maybe 10 minutes, synchronize. The sync which Madam Vincent talked about. So the other tools like EndNote, yeah, that one. The other tools like Mendeley, Zotero and EndNote normally does it automatically, but you need to sync. You may be in a cyber, you may be using your phone, you need to sync so that you update the library folder. That is a question which has been asked by a participant.
Maybe I'll ask Millicent to explain briefly on synchronizing. I think that question is addressing the issue of synchronizing your account.
Okay, synchronizing, as we said earlier, sometimes you could be using maybe your office computer and you move to another place and you're searching for your documents. Of course, remember you've signed in. So if you are online, we said you synchronize when you're online. So if you're online, when you click on Synchronize wherever you are, it will update your library. And once your library is updated, anywhere that you open it now, it will have all the documents that you have. Say you are using a smartphone and you've downloaded the app and you want to have all your literature that you'd already downloaded. Maybe your computer had a problem or something. Remember, Mendeley saves for you in the cloud, so you can access it even if your computer crashes. So if you sign in, you just go back to your app and then click on sync. So once you sync, it will go to your collection that is already saved for you in the cloud and then bring it to your computer. So once you sync, as Mr. Juguna has told us, you keep syncing, and every time that you download the app, it will ask you automatically to sync. So if you say sync, it is going to synchronize all that you had collected and put it in your phone. So anytime you're using your phone, you'll have the same literature that you have on your desktop. I hope that's clear.
Thank you. Just hope that is clear now. A participant is asking, I already have this software on my desk. So what I need is a personalized guide on how to use it on day-to-day basis. I think that's a general question. So we'll give our contact at the end of this session. You can follow with us so that you can have that personalized guide. And then the other question is, I'm using Mendeley, but when I upload the documents and leave them for some days, other references become inactive. What is the reason for this?
Repeat again.
When I'm using Mendeley, but I am using Mendeley, but when I upload the documents and leave them for some time, for some days, other references become inactive. What is the reason for this? The participant is saying when he or she downloads the document, that means the papers, after some time, some become inactive. And she's asking the reason why this happens.
If I'm to answer that, maybe you see there's a time, let's say you downloaded something from Elsevier. Maybe that time Elsevier was available for you to download from. After some time, some publishers normally remove their products for free or something. So you have to pay for it. So if you had it in your library, definitely you'll not be able to access it. That could be one of the reasons. I don't know any other reason that would make it not be, because according to me, if you have it in your library, it should be there anytime that you need it.
Okay. The other question is, how do I search for groups on Mendeley? Please, maybe Millicent again, you can do a recap to that.
Search for groups.
Yeah. I think the person means maybe collaborate, you want to collaborate with
remember we say if this is your page, on the left-hand side, we have groups. So under groups, you are able to create groups. But normally, I think there's a way that you're able to search for existing groups. I don't know that somebody knows how to do that, but you can search. Does anybody know how to search?
There's no need of searching. Once you create a group, they are normally listed alphabetically down there. Where you create a group down there, you'll find them.
So assuming this was a group that I was creating, I name it maybe J, and then I describe the group, and then I say create group. Let me see, create group. So you invite people to the group. You can send invites. So where does the one for the others come?
Millicent.
Yes.
That was my concern. If I want to collaborate with other people, how do I get to access the groups that they are in? Because when I do what you're doing, I only have access to what I've created.
There's a way. Can just give us your details?
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Yes.
And then we'll share it with you.
It's okay. I'll appreciate.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
And then also to add, if you can see what is being shared on the screen, sometimes you might be knowing the emails of some of the, like you are a specialist in a given field, and you know your peers in that field. So, and you have their email address. I think that what is being shared is you can use those emails to invite them so that they can join to, or you can collaborate on whatever you are doing. But we'll explore further the option that we are asking. And then the other question is, I want to publish a chapter from my dissertation document. It is on it was done manually. So can Mendeley assist me in the organizing and a pre-version of my paper? I think that one Mendeley can do because it's like you are writing another paper because there's a pre-version. So every time where you add a citation, you need to cite now for those citations online and import them to your library, and then you proceed to insert. And then there's somebody is asking that we'll share the, I hope the PowerPoint can be shared. So we'll share the PowerPoint after this, after the session. And then there's another question here, the process of citing an legal document, like an act of parliament or the constitution.
Rotich, maybe there's a, you might be having another gadget near you which is on, so you are breaking. There's some background noise. Okay, proceed.
What is the process of citing legal documents, like an act of parliament or the constitution? So the person is asking if you want to cite, you are using an act of parliament, and you want to cite using a reference tool. I hope that is what the person meant. How can you go about? Okay, what I can contribute as somebody else to.
Hello.
Okay. What I can
teach. Hello.
Yes.
Maybe to answer that, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are clear, Mr. Niguna.
Yeah, we normally say that you continue learning on citation, styles, Mendeley, and whatever, the referencing tools. You need to continue learning the citation styles using, so people should not abandon learning APA, Chicago, MLA, because for instance, there was a time, the earlier version of Mendeley normally used to confuse proceedings. You cite proceedings and a book, it wouldn't differentiate. So it's always good to keep on learning on the citation styles. And it is also always advisable once you do your referencing and citations using the taught software, you simply go through physically to establish whether whatever you done is correct. So I would, this is a caution. You need also to learn the citation styles, the APA, MLA, Chicago, all those.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ndiguna. To add also, we mentioned, I think Millicent mentioned, and even in last week's presentation, that referencing tools allows you to cite any document. And normally when you are searching for this document, the referencing tools will know that what you are citing is what kind of a document. And even if in case it fails to detect, there's a way you can add the document manually.
Where I'm showing on the screen now.
Yeah. So I'll allow Millicent to take us through that practically.
No, under file, we say there's add files, add folder, watch folder, and add entry manually. So you'll find that some of these things are not available online. So you've used it as we said. You just come to add entry manually, and then choose the type of document that it is. It's a book, a section, a case, conference, proceeding, film, whatever. There are many options that are there for you: magazine, report, patent, and so on. So if it is something that is not there, maybe you check the one that is nearest to it. If it is a patent, a report, a statute, or whatever, you indicate on that. Then now find out the author. Is it the government of Kenya? Then you'll indicate government of Kenya. The year, pages, abstract, maybe if there's anything you can say about it in short, and then you add a tag to help you trace it later on. There are so many options, things that you can add: code, country, is it a public law number? You can indicate the number, the source, statute number, where you got it from, if it has a URL, anything that you want to add. And then if there are other settings, there's also unpublished work excluded from Mendeley web catalog. So you can click on that and then add save. So if you add save, it will come to your library. Once it comes to your library, if you cite it and you go back to your document, now based on the document, the details that you've entered, Mendeley will cite it for you according to the APA style or according to whichever style you're going to use. I think that's the easiest way.
That has been answered well. Thank you, Millicent. This question is the same as someone who has asked: what is the process of citing newspaper articles and published conference proceedings, theses, websites, and web pages? As I mentioned, normally these referencing tools, if you are accessing a newspaper or even a thesis, the tools will recognize that you are citing a given type of document, and once you set them in your library, you'll be able to cite. And if it doesn't, then you'll do the manual way. That's just as Millicent has explained. And then there's somebody who's asking which one is more preferable between Zotero and Mendeley. I think it's somebody's preference. One person might prefer to use Mendeley, another person might prefer to use Zotero, but they complement one another. I think that unless Millicent, you have any...
There is a question, Mr. Rotich.
Yes.
That has not been answered. There's somebody who asked how to create the library under Mendeley, and the person was requesting, can the presenter repeat that process of creating the library?
Okay, Millicent.
Okay, as you said earlier, this where we are now is the library. So if you've just downloaded Mendeley, it means your library will be empty. So all you need to do is to add. So what you can do, you can add files. So if you click on add files, if you have files already in your computer, like they have done now, if I click on add files, it will take me to desktop. So if I had any documents that I wanted to add onto my library, I'll click on them and then open. And then as you can see, they automatically come to the library. So that is one way. You click on add files, and then it will take you to maybe my documents, wherever. You click whatever you want. You can click as many as you want, and then you click open. If you click on open, they automatically come to your library. So that is how you create your library. And another way is if you are doing it online, the Mendeley web plug it in that we're talking about. it looks like this. Normally what happens, if you've downloaded Mendeley and you did not include that one as part of your download, we said you come to tools. If you come to Mendeley, go to tools, install, there's tools, I hope you can see, install web importer. So if you click on that, a new page will open, which now allows you to get web importer for Firefox, if you're using Firefox or Chrome. So you just click on that. And then you can have the option of add to Firefox. So if you click add to Firefox, if that's your browser, it will ask you whether it can add, and just say add. So once it adds, it means anytime you're using your Firefox to search for any information, now we have this icon here. I hope you can see the arrow up on the left-hand side. There's this red here. We've already added it to our browser. So if I'm now online and I'm searching for any information and I want to add it to my library, say I'm looking for anything, normally PDF gives more details. So if I click on a document that I'm interested in, as I'm doing now, I find this is the document that I want, and then I want to download it. If there's an option for me to download, here, allow it, download it to your Mendeley. So if I download this, there's something blocking my screen, so I can't be able to show you. But normally, if I click on this icon, it will ask me, what do I want to do? Do I want to add something to it? So this is now where you come to. If you click on it, it will ask you, okay, I can't see all the details, but this is now where you add from. So if you add anything that you get online, you click on this, add it to your library, it will automatically come to your library. That's why we call it web importer. So anything that you are searching for online, you want to download, come to this icon on your left-hand side, click on it, it will ask you whether you want to add it to your library, you just say allow, and that's all. So you'll be creating your computer, your library in that way. Another option is to minimize your window. If you are using Mendeley, just minimize it a bit. If you have some folders that maybe you have on the screen, let's say you are having something, assume you are on documents and there's something that you want to add. You can always drag and drop. So if this is my folder and I feel I want to drag this, I'll just drag it and drop it. So once you drag and drop, it will also be added to your library. So you have those three options. You can go to add files, or if you have a folder that you've created, you can add folder. And then you also have the option of going online and downloading directly through your Mendeley web importer, or you drag the file and drop it in the library. Those are three ways of making your library become richer. I hope that's clear.
Thank you, Millicent. I hope that is clear now. And then we'll proceed with the questions. Is somebody allowed to cite this one that is relevant to the current study? Maybe I'll give one of the academics to respond to this.
Can the host mute all the participants, please? There is a lot of background noise. We can't hear you.
You're gonna, yeah. Also, you can unmute yourself.
Is somebody allowed to cite this one published work that is relevant to the current study? And I was requesting academicians in the room to answer this question or to contribute.
Yes, of course, it is possible to cite your own work. Really, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
You can cite your own work. If, for example, you are writing an article, a fresh article, and maybe you have used your thesis. You can cite your own thesis. You can cite your own book if you had already published a book. You can also cite your own article that you had published earlier. So it is possible for you to cite yourself.
But as long as there is not over-reliance on the past article.
Yeah, of course, there's also plagiarism. You should not plagiarize your own work. So that is also something that members need to keep in mind. Plagiarization, it does not only occur when you plagiarize somebody else's work, but you can also plagiarize your own work, which is unethical in research and publishing.
Thank you. Then we can move on. Somebody is asking whether, I think we have done, somebody is asking, can you please redo the citation process, please? Maybe I'll ask Millicent just to take just 1 minute to demonstrate on how you cite.
We were using this document earlier, and we said if you're using Word and you've downloaded the Word plugin, then you're able to cite from from Word. So what you do, you come to references, where the cursor is, click on references, and then insert citation where you want it to be. After inserting, assume this is where you are. Then you can say insert citation, go to Mendeley. If this is the document that you wanted to cite, you click on it, and then you insert citation. Is it that way? Just a minute. Okay, so say you want to insert your citation where the cursor is. You go to insert citation, go to Mendeley, choose the document that you want to cite, and then click on Cite. And then it will be added to your bibliography automatically. As you can see, it has already come to your bibliography. So if to repeat again, if you have the document that you're working on it and you want to cite, let's say at that point, come to Insert Citation, go to your Mendeley library, assuming the document is already there, click on the document that you want to cite, and then click on, now this is the library, so you click on Cite. So once you cite, as you can see, it has come, and then automatically it goes to your references. I hope that is clear.
Yes.
Okay, we proceed. Somebody is asking whether you can use both. I don't know whether he means both reference tools. And we answered that question that you can use the two, you can use Zotero and you can use Mendeley interchangeably. They work, they can integrate. Somebody is asking about whether you can repeat a presentation on Zotero. And then,
yes, Rotich, you can still add, you can import all the references from Zotero to Mendeley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, people are asking, comparing Zotero and Mendeley. I think it depends on somebody's preference. Some users find Mendeley to be easy to use, and some people find Zotero to use. That's why we train on both tools so that users can choose which one is easier for them to use. Another question is, somebody is suggesting that we need to break or subdivide the training into more schedules so that we cover all aspects in detail. I think that's a suggestion which we'll take into consideration. Another participant is asking, thanks for the presentation. Is it possible to edit the bibliography generated by both Mendeley and Zotero, Millicent, or any of the librarians? Is it
to edit
the bibliography generated by both Mendeley and Zotero? Librarians in the room?
Hello.
We don't understand.
Yes.
Hello,
Mr. Rotich.
Yes, Felicitas, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, I'm getting that question. Sometimes we've had experience where there could be some slight errors in the tool. So you can actually edit. Maybe there's a name which has been omitted. You have the option to go again to that particular where Millicent was showing the metadata. Maybe you can correct the author or even the publisher, etc. Yeah, you can edit.
If you can see the screen, if this was a document, you can now make the changes. For example, you can type something under the title. If you want to make changes there, you can also change here. All of these are active.
Yeah.
So you can make changes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm skipping the questions which have been answered. Somebody is asking, does Zotero has the synchronizing option? The answer is yes, it has the synchronizing option. So long as you get an account, you can synchronize your libraries, and you can use any computer. Once you have synchronized, if you open your account, you'll be able to see your libraries. It doesn't matter which computer you are using. And then, is it possible to do the citation? I think Millicent has done citation again.
Yeah.
So that one is answered. Okay. A participant is asking, is it possible to cite an author mentioned in a paper?
Yes.
It's possible. Maybe somebody can elaborate.
It's not clear.
Yeah, what I was saying is like you have a paper, because what we are just citing is just the author of the paper that is in the library. But supposing you have found out some author inside a paper that you want to cite, is it possible for the Mendeley to automatically be able to guide you to that person so that you're able to cite automatically?
Maybe if I just try to answer. I'm assuming if you got a paper inside a book or a document, whatever, this is a journal, you'll cite the author of that paper, and then you'll say in, as you're in your references. I think there's not a place that says in this particular journal. So I think at the end of the day, what Mendeley will be able to indicate is the details that are there, the main details of, the details of the paper.
So that means you have to go to that paper.
Yeah, because if it's a journal, you're not quoting the entire journal, you're just quoting the specific paper in the journal, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So the paper that you'll be using will have the author's name, isn't it? Yes. So it will for the journals, it will indicate. If you can see somewhere here, I don't know whether you are able to see this screen.
I can.
we are having Kerio LC, Washira and Wanyoko,
Mhm.
and Rotich.
Okay.
The title of the paper is Characterization of Something, and then it's indicating food chemistry now is the journal.
Okay.
So the author's name is given and the journal is given. So it doesn't give the general one. It goes to the specific author. And if you can see in the third one, we have it's up in proceedings. So it's giving the name of the author and it is indicating this particular paper is in proceedings, which now has even the page numbers and so on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that question has been answered. And then Microsoft Word has a reference management option. Can it synchronize with Mendeley or Zotero? I don't know. There's somebody who has experimented on this. Maybe unless we experiment. Otherwise, you know, for Mendeley and Zotero, they work hand in hand. But the one in Word, I don't know whether they can synchronize with the others, unless that one somebody needs to explore.
If there's anybody in the room, any participant who is in the room and maybe has already tried that, she or he can share with us on how to go about that. This is a learning session, so even the participants who are in the room, if there's something that they feel that they can add to enrich other people's knowledge, they are all welcome, so that we all learn from one another.
That one will be a normal for us.
What I'm not sure, Mr. Rotich,
Yes.
is whether you are able to use the data that you have. But I know if you're seeing the screen, it is normally in this area where you insert citation. This is now forward. And then it will ask you to either add new source, add new placeholder, or search libraries. So when you search libraries, I don't know that it will search even Mendeley. And then, of course, at the same time, you're able to choose the type, the whatever referencing style that you want to use. And you can also manage your sources. So I think that the one that the person is talking about are basically in this particular area. But I'm not sure whether it works together with Mendeley. But if you don't have Mendeley, you don't have Zotero, you use this part where the word now helps you to create your citation.
So it's something to be explored. Eh?
Yeah.
And then
Mr. Rotich and Tim, I think we also need to agree here. Yes. Because I have seen this issue of can Zotero be repeated, the training on Zotero be repeated, and there seems to be quite a number of questions. And then there's also somebody who said that the presentation today was quite heavy and was wondering, can the facilitators break down the session on Mendeley so that the details that the Millicent has covered today can be given more time so that they can grasp or how to go, how to use Mendeley. So I have a feeling that many members are still struggling with the Zotero and Mendeley. And I was just wondering whether it is possible to have our next session on Friday next week on the two, so that if members who have already attended these trainings and still have so many issues, because now after training, they will go and try to put into practice what we have learned. And then they might have many issues or many challenges, which I thought maybe it would be better for us to have another one more session on these referencing tools before we go to publishing. That is just my thinking from today's reactions from the participants. Maybe that is something that we can think about and see how we can go about it. Because when the training is fresh in their minds, it's better to have a repeat so that if there are any issues to be clarified, they are clarified before we, maybe move on to another kind of training.
I think you're right. What we can do you can see which one to repeat next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on we can review, because I think it will be fruitful if we just handle one. If it is
okay.
if we handle Mendeley next week,
mm-hmm.
just handle it and maybe move slowly by slowly,
mm-hmm.
and we tackle fewer features.
Okay.
And then once the participants are satisfied, maybe we can move now to the next.
Yeah, so I am requesting the training team to sit down maybe after this session and agree which is the best way forward. I mean, looking at what the members or the participants have raised today.
Okay.
And then you can send the invitations depending on which one you think we should now zero in.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
That is in order. Okay, somebody is asking, sometimes when you insert citation, it does not use at all, but bring all the others. How do you handle that? Somebody can answer that question?
Can I answer from my own understanding?
Yes.
If you're doing in-text citing, it will give the etal. But when it comes to bibliography, if you're mentioning it for the first time, normally it can give up to three authors. But if there are many and you've not used it, I mean, you've not used it as in somewhere else in the document, it will give all the names. That is, I think, according to APA, but maybe somebody else has another understanding.
No, to support you, Madam Millicent.
Yes.
I said Zotero normally utilizes citation styles. And we are normally told that we should not stop learning. The fact that we now know how to use the referencing tools, we should continue learning on the citation styles. Currently in APA, we are in the 7th edition, and those issues are tackled there effectively. Either in APA, Harvard, MLA.
Maybe that is another training angle that we need to take as librarians. We may need to have another session just to talk about citation styles, the different styles that are there, because different disciplines prefer or recommend different styles. So maybe we also need to look at that and see whether we can have one session just to create awareness on the various styles that are available, the advantages and the disadvantages of each one of them, and maybe which particular disciplines recommend which particular style. Maybe that's an area that our users are struggling with, and maybe you can think about a session on that in that aspect. And by the way, participants, when we talk about training, we invite you, our users, our library users and participants, to also volunteer to train. Maybe you are a researcher and you have some kind of specialized skills in a certain area. You can also volunteer to just come and train the others or share your experiences and skills with others. So it's not only the librarians who can train, we also want to invite all the others who have something to share with others to also volunteer and come to talk to us. So in case you have something that you want to share with others, just get in touch with us and we shall slot you maybe during one of our training sessions. We can give you maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes and you share your experiences, your skills with the other researchers so that they can also improve in their areas of activities. Members, I just want to thank you sincerely. I want to leave this meeting because I have another meeting at noon. So I'm leaving Mr. Rotich in charge. Otherwise,